The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.
Now, Utah, Florida. I'm not going to. Me and Marley, we said our things if they'll follow us and was seen the show last night. So we're gonna let Big Ragu, since he's down there in Florida, we're gonna let you start this one off, and then we gonna go for it as there. And I should have a couple USC fans that I Pac-12 advocates somewhere in the chat. Y'all hear me? I seen y'all was in there. I need y'all to show up and talk that Pac-12 stuff. Y'all be talking to me. Go for it.
All right, so here we go. We're going to start off with Utah. Utah is the class of the Pac-12. No pun, without a doubt, right now. At this moment in time, they're the team. They're talking about playoffs. They're talking about, getting there. You're talking about what a great season they had last year. Willingham does a great job with this team. I mean, they just play. They're disciplined. They play in the trenches well. They execute well. The quarterback's fire. I mean, they just do a lot of stuff that's, the defense is lit. I mean, for what they did, and who they are, I take my hats off to Utah without a doubt. But their problem is they do have some road struggles. They have known to struggle on the road when they get away from, Provo up that way. But now they got to come to the Swamp, okay? Now the Swamp is a whole nother place to play, okay? If you haven't played there, you could ask opposing teams. Ask Alabama where they were, a 2-point away conversion from losing. Now they got Billy Napier from Louisiana, who's got Alabama ties. They're going to play Billy ball. We're not talking Billy Donovan, talking Billy Napier. They got a kid named Anthony Richardson who's going to be a Heisman, trophy candidate. Not the leading role right now. C.J. Stroud is that guy right now, but this kid Richardson, I'm finally glad that they made a decision to go with the one quarterback, and he should benefit from that. But even though Napier's first year, we're not big on first-year coaches, I think this team is ultra-talented as far as, the way they've been recruiting over the years. Mullen did a good job there without question. He was one of the better recruiters in the state in actuality. And, they're always lit on the defensive front. Florida's one of those teams that, they're a trench team. They're a running team. They're not an option team. They usually have the kid that can, dual threat quarterback is usually the way they go. And that's, like I said, that's the way Mullen's recruited. So you're talking about a team coming in that's going to be a slight favorite or underdog. I think what's the line sitting at right now? Is it close to like
3.
a pick? 2.5 Utah?
3.
2?
I got 3.
Utah's 3?
Yeah, Utah -3.
Wow. I'll tell you what, man. You give me points in the Swamp with the Gators, I don't care if Alabama's coming to town. I'm taking the Gators plus the points. And I'm a Gator hater because I'm a no by trade, but this is a tough spot for Utah. Whoever wins this game going forward will not recover for the rest of the year. National championship aspirations. Now, this sets the tone for Utah, just like we talked about Cincinnati and the Arkansas game. This is a similar game, but at a higher level. So Utah's, they're like a top 5 team, right, coming in. And Florida, I don't think Florida's even ranked at this current moment in time. So we'll see what Utah does, and give me the Gators here, plus the points and sprinkle.
Ooh, okay.
You mic
how
down.
you want to do this, Marley? I'm gonna let you call. You want me to go, Marley, or you want to go? How
Your
you want to
show.
do this?
Your show.
How
You
you wanna
decide.
do it?
I'm good either way.
It's,
I'm ready.
It's my show or our show, and we welcome you here. And because you're in our house, we're gonna let you choose. We're gonna let you eat dinner tonight. Go for it.
All right, I go. I have no issue going. Let's go. All right. I absolutely 100% agree with everything Doc said. We know as boss and coach like to call me Mr. SEC. Call it what you want to call it. I think that's where the best college football is played at. So yes, one thing Doc didn't touch on, because he did, and coach, me and coach tried to tell you, boss, yesterday about playing in that stadium. That home crowd is just something different about playing in the Swamp. And is this going to be a night? This is a night game, so it's going to be prime time. It's a 6:00 game.
Yeah.
So we're talking prime time. First game of the season. It's going to be jumping. It's going to be rowdy as fuck. Now, on top of that, we got these California kids or West Coast kids coming to the South in the heat, in the humidity. They're not going to be used to that. I don't care how early they come. It's going to take
hot
time.
down here too right now.
Mugginess coming from somebody that grew up in Texas, moved to Nevada, stayed in Vegas for 2 years. I understand both heats is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. One of them is muggy and it's harder to breathe, and you're going to be sweating on top of it. It's just hot. All right, let's get to football. I respect Utah. I picked them to win the Pac-12 this year over SC with Lincoln Riley. I respect everything about this team. Offensively, they got what I think is definitely a dark horse Heisman in Cameron Rising, depending on what CJ Stroud does, and a couple other guys. But I think he definitely will be in the mix if everything goes according to plan. Now, what worries me about this team, you only got 5 returning on defense from a defense that really was like compared to where they came from, it was okay in the Pac-12. But you come into the swamp and you're coming to play big boy football, and I don't think Utah can really keep up in the trenches. I said it on my show. I'm on the over because I think Utah will score. I love the hire with Bill Napier. I think that's like one of the best hires in over the offseason in coaching. I'm very high on that team. I don't know. The only thing that's stopping me from taking Florida money line is, and Coach told me their offense isn't that complicated to pick up, is that I don't know how long it's going to take those kids to pick it up like that. He had the whole offseason in the spring, but I think they'll get enough stops where Utah won't be able to get the stop because I think they're just out. They're just too big, too fast in Florida to be able for those kids to keep up. So I think Florida get just enough stops to keep it going. And you're going to give me 3 at the crib in the swamp at night. First game of the season under the lights. Give me Florida. Give me the 3. I like the over as well.
Yeah. Hey, one thing, G-Day, before you jump in, Marley, you know he did bring an offensive lineman and a running back with him. Napier did from Louisiana, so they can help the other guys get up to speed on.
And see, and that's crucial, like because that's the only thing that's really holding me back is like it's a new system. You got a quarterback that got to learn brand new terminology.
Yeah,
got the receivers that got to pick up everything. But like Coach said, it's a run. It's Anthony Richardson is the perfect quarterback for the system. RPOs. I mean, he's super athletic. He's big. Like it's almost like a match made in heaven. Go ahead, boss. I see you over there.
Yeah, well, I'm just over here. You know, I'm over here. I'm like a boxer. I'm shadow boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready for this. You know what I'm saying?
Chop.
And I'm not even a Pac-12 advocate. I can't stand them.
I hate the Pac-12, but I respect Utah.
Hey, we got a lot of. I got my Pac-12 guys in the chat right here. Y'all say what's up, and just put Pac-12 or something in the chat.
They can't say nothing but Utah. That's all they can say.
Well, you know they mostly SC fans, so
but they ain't being shit. They praying for.
They need Utah to win this game to make themselves look better by far. The Pac-12 needs this victory more than anything, you know, to help this go on. And let's go. This guy, Cal Willingham, he's been here 18 years. He's not a new kid on the block. Guess what? He's beat Bama before. This guy beat Bama, right? So he's not afraid of that. He's 7-1-1 on road openers, so he knows all about preparation and all that. Now, he is 3-9 straight up versus the SEC, but in the last 5, he's 4-1 ATS. And this time, they're giving him the points. So that means, you know, if the books are in any way have any intelligence, then no way they give him 3 points in the game, probably where they should have been to pick him. But they give him 3 points on the road. Now, as far as this old swamp, womp, in the press conference, Kyle Willingham spoke himself. He's been in these situations before. We've already simulated the best we can, the crowd noise, the humidity, the heat. They've been doing this. It's a first game. They don't arrive on Wednesday or Thursday and play on Saturday. They arrive on Tuesday. They're acclimated. Their physical body has acclimated in that many days. When I was in Miami, I was acclimated within 3 days to it. I wasn't playing football, true, but I wasn't an athlete either. I was a smoker, drinker, and all that, and I survived, okay? So these dudes, young athletes, they come here to play. They want to win. A lot of these guys hung around for this. They looking for this. This is what they want. So they're going into a Florida team, and in the press conference, I love Bill Napier. We're not mentioning two facts. Everybody's so gung-ho on the SC. You've been so SEC biased. You're not even looking at the fact. You're talking about a back in a team that was 6-7 last year. You're talking about a coach that's coming from the Sun Belt to the big boys in the SEC, and you think they're going to jump out and beat the top team in the Pac-12 that's going to give them a chance to even touch the playoffs?
The Pac-12 not good.
It's football. It's football. Not necessarily Florida is good. Florida was weak last year. They lost to Missouri.
Florida was weak last year, but I think that was more a product of coaching.
So from last year to now, where did they get so great? With just adding a coach?
Yes, because I think last year, it was a product of coaching, not talent. I think we can all agree that they're a talented team, just talent. I'm not even saying more talented than Utah. I'm just saying I think we can all agree that they have talent.
There was mutiny on the coaching.
I'm not gonna disrespect anybody's talent. I'm not gonna disrespect a FCS talent, especially with the transfer portal nowadays when you got players coming from Wyoming and going to Alabama. Okay, so I'm not gonna disrespect none of the talent. The talent is not a question. In first game, starting the season, it comes down to coaching and preparation. This guy is 18 years thick in the game with a chance to get his team on top versus a first-year coach with a lot of talented players. Give me Utah, please, -3.
I'm not disagreeing. I mean, I'm disagreeing with you on the game, but I like Utah. So I mean, them if they hypothetically do go into the swamp and win the game, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, my best play is probably on the over, but I do like Florida. I just think it's a different class of football, and I'm personally really high on Napier as a coach and what he did at Louisiana.
I respect it.
And I think those kids, that quarterback, Anthony Richardson, fits his system so fucking well. And I think you said this on my show. If this was Bill Napier year 3, we probably have a different line. And we
both
have the same concern. It's just if those kids can pick up that system, I think they win the game. We just
listen. I hear rumblings about how detailed Napier is with his program. And he said they can lay out the whole season in like 15 minutes. That's how sharp this guy is. So I'm just going based on what I heard, as far as even like the alumni, the coaching staff, they're all super impressed. Not to say that, he wouldn't be a good coach anyways, but he's like extra detailed in the program. Now, how far along has the team come? That's a whole nother story.
That's what we don't know.
To that point as well.
But they'll be athletic and they'll be ready to play.
Hey, to that point as well, the press conference was just put up probably about an hour ago now, and he talks exactly about that. This is quoted for him, and I like this quote to some degree. He says, study for the test all the way to the test. He said he's constantly checking, and this is what everybody around him is impressed by him, like Big Ragu said as well. He's constantly checking in on everything. He's got his eye on everything, but kind of part of me being who I am, that means that at some point you don't trust all these situations, or you got to watch it. So this is a game. If you are SEC biased and you like Napier and you like Florida, this game should really be a pass on week 1 versus a team like Utah, the coaching and the preparation. But
if Utah is what we think they are, though, because it's hard for me. It's hard to gauge the good teams in the Pac-12 against other, because I think that's one of the, no disrespect to anybody out here. It's going to sound disrespectful. But I think the Pac-12 is one of the weaker of the Power 5 conferences, top to bottom. Yeah, so
everybody on the East Coast say that, but when Pete Carroll was running up and down,
that was a different time. Yes,
nobody was saying that. So
those like USC teams, and it was still only USC. It's not like it was the conference as a whole.
Oregon shadowed them.
Yeah,
I mean, let's do the same thing right now. That's all you can tell me right now is USC. Oregon fell off. Utah replaces Oregon, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think that it can go
so much to go around.
But let's go on into the next game because we still got some big boy games coming up.
Let's get it.
This one,